Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning, and welcome to this week's segment of Live Without Limits. Today's show is titled, No One Stands That, and the name of my show is No One Stands in Line. Wait a minute. Boy, I'm not going good here. Okay. The title of this show is How to Finish What You Started. And that's one thing you learn in sports. You don't give up. You might finish to the finish, or rather, let me start again. That's one thing you learn in sports. You don't give up. You fight to the finish, said Louis Zeverini. Want to know how to finish what you started? Well, there is a thing in the industry about how cool it is to look like you're not working. That is, to make your success seem effortless. And I get it. After all, who wants to work? Look, I'm just as lazy as the next guy. Sure, I'd love to have my success handed to me on a silver platter without having to put in any effort. But remember something, there's no such thing as overnight success. In fact, that's one reason so many people worship the so-called gurus. What does that mean when someone is a guru? That means that they're an expert and an authority on the subject. Online marketing is becoming the way to do business today. And what does that mean for people? That means that if they don't know what they're talking about, they need to learn. And to do so, they want to learn from the best. You know, the ones who achieved overnight success and who say things like, well, I was struggling before, but then my success just happened out of the blue. You know what? It doesn't happen out of the blue. That's called humble brag, by the way. And what happens is, and I've seen this in people with religion, that they almost say, oh, if you just believe in Jesus, you'll get whatever it is that you want. But you know what? That's not true. You have to work for it. You have to set goals. You have to know what it is that you're looking for, and you have to work for it. Sounds great, doesn't it? No wonder the guru epidemic has taken hold of so many and cost so many people much time and money. Because guess what? It's making money for those gurus because you believe they're an overnight success. Let me tell you something. I've gone on some free presentations for webinars, and it was coaches telling other coaches how they can teach them to make a six-figure income. But you know the real reason why they were making that six-figure income? Because they told those coaches they knew the secret, but all they were doing was selling the same information to those coaches who thought they knew best and were going to learn from them. And most of what they were saying was nothing more than common sense. So, if you have common sense, and if you read or you research it or you go on YouTube, you can learn the same things without having to put out thousands and thousands of dollars because these gurus really know nothing more than you do. But if you really want to be successful, look at people who have started their own business and taken it from scratch to a six-figure income, whether it's a product or service, because many of them do know what they're talking about and do know more than you do. And they can mentor you, whether it's one-on-one in a group. But be very careful, because if you're a coach, if you coach other coaches, yeah, it's easy to make a six- and seven-figure income because those people are willing to put out the money. But if you're going to your customer who's working somewhere and making a nominal fee, they're not going to always be able to pay you what you're willing to pay another coach to teach you, and then keep increasing it. And I know through experience that what a lot of coaches do, whether it's in sales or customer service, they will start you out with a different levels of training. And to go to each level and go up to each level, you have to look at it as a way where you as the individual can pick up on those things that they understand and know as a fact. What are you going to do to understand how it's all about building a business from scratch and learning and building relationships? Because the decidedly non-sexy truth is I worked very hard to achieve my success. And you know what? Even those gurus who achieved overnight success didn't, because they worked hard for their success too. They just rather not admit the fact. Now, for some reason, I seem to have very good at finishing bridges. And when we're talking about bridges, we're talking about what sets you apart from someone else, what makes you unique, which is another way to say how to finish what you started. What I mean by that is, let's say you want to go from where you are now to where you want to be, whether it's in your business, your finances, your health, your weight, your relationship. You want to go from point A to point B. You want to finish what you started. However, between where you are and where you want to be, there's a gap. In fact, I call it your belief gap. So to bridge the gap from where you are to where you want to be, to finish what you started, you start to build a bridge. So let's talk about what does it take to build a bridge. That means you start from scratch. You have a basic plan. You start with the business plan. What that business plan does is it really lays out a roadmap for you on how you're going to achieve your goals. What are the different things that you need to do to achieve those goals? It's like going up a ladder. You can't get to the bottom, to the top, without going one step at a time. For instance, if you write out your goal and you look at the end goal and you're at the starting line, it's like very daunting. So say you're in a 6K where you're running a race and you're thinking about the finish line and you're thinking about all the hills that you got to go over to get to the finish line. And it seems so daunting to you that in your mind you can't do it. But what if you take it at different stages, like they do in the Tour de France? They go stage 1, which is the first day, and each day is a different stage. So if you practice, say, running a mile one day, or maybe a half a mile one day, then a mile, then a mile and a half, then till you build up to where you're running that 6 miles so that you don't get winded. And for instance, in Atlanta, they have the Peachtree Road Race that starts at Lenox Square and finishes up at Piedmont Park. And over 50,000 people participate in that on a yearly basis. Why? Because they want to get that T-shirt that says that they finished. And you will see them practicing running. And they belong to the running club. And they will participate in smaller races to build up the stamina to run in the Peachtree Road Race. In fact, unless you participated in other races, you don't even qualify for the Peachtree. But here's what happens next for so many people. They get about halfway across the gap with their bridge half built, and they run into a roadblock, a problem, an issue, a speed bump, a setback, a failure, and they give up. They tell themselves, I guess it isn't meant to be. That is literally nothing more than your mind telling you what you can or can't do. And all of that is put there because somewhere along the line, someone has told you that you can't do it. So what would you do that would change things so that you can achieve whatever goal it is that you want in life? Have you ever thought about those things? Have you ever planned out your goals? Have you ever thought that there's always going to be some type of roadblock along the way? And how are you going to look at that roadblock, come up with an answer, and then move on? And they go back to where they were and start to build another bridge. And then the same thing happens over and over and over again. And they never actually finish a damn bridge, which means you never finish what you started, which means you start where you are, beating yourself up, running from one guru to the next, building half-built bridges, and never reaching your goal of realizing your full potential. And one thing that I'm going to talk to you about is network marketing, because network marketing really has a lot of potential, and it really teaches you how to build, because one of the things of building relationships in a business is doing one thing and one thing only when it comes to building that business: creating relationships that last, helping people to get to know, like, and trust you. Because once they know, like, and trust you, then guess what? You have got them for life. You have got someone who can teach you the ins and outs of really building a business. And we're talking about network marketing. And how many times that people will get into a business because they think it's going to be their ticket to success, and then they find out it really isn't. Well, unless it's a product that you would be using anyway, and there's almost any product on the market today has some type of network marketing or affiliate marketing attached to it. Why? Because so many people work from home. And working from home means, what are you doing? You're doing what so many other people are doing. You have flexible time. but you have to put the initial work in. It's a matter of not just balancing the plates on a wheel. It's a matter of helping someone get started, helping them learn the tools of the trade. It's like if you look at soap operas in the past, the writers knew then how to write serials. Yes, they had certain patterns that they would follow, but they knew how to create characters. They knew how to build relationships between all the characters so that you got invested in the characters. Today, those writers don't know how to write. They don't know how to write the characters. They don't understand the history of the characters. And they write plot points. And instead of having all the characters interact with each other, you'll see two people here, two people there. Well, it doesn't work that way. It has to be a way that is mutual for everyone, to help everyone understand how you as a group can help each other. Any of this sound familiar to you? Thought so. So the point is, I simply can't stand half-built bridges. I can't stand not finishing what I started. In fact, as I was as I was considering this show today, I realized that I can trace 99% of the results I've gotten, both for me and my clients, to that simple fact that if you keep building half-built bridges, you keep not finishing what you started. You'll never get from where you are to where you want to be. So if you're thinking about quitting before you finish your bridge or want to know how to finish what you started, let me give you one simple piece of advice. Get the help, support, and encouragement that you need to finish what you started, because it's awfully hard to finish bridges by yourself. What bridge do you want to finish before the end of the year? And remember, we still only have 3 months left in this year. So what are your goals for yourself for today? And here's something else for you to think about when you're setting goals. What kind of action plan do you have? Do you have a mentor that is going to hold you accountable to follow up on anything that you choose to follow up on? Because understanding all of that, understanding how it all works, making it all work for you, means that in your ability to succeed, your ability to do the follow-through, that is what counts. So think about it this way. When you write out an action plan, you need to know where you are and where you want to be and how you want to get there. And you also need to look at it this way. If you come up with an obstacle, how are you going to overcome that obstacle and truly make it all work for you? We all know that obstacles are always going to be there, whether it's on a daily basis, a weekly basis, or a monthly basis. And it's that what happens is so many people reach those obstacles and they don't know the coping skills and they don't know what to do, that what happens to them, they literally give up. They go to something else. So, and you see that in network marketing and affiliate marketing on a daily basis. You see people come in all gung-ho about what they're going to do, it doesn't work, and instead of trying a different tactic, they give up and they don't even try. So look at all your obstacles, and remember this, it's up to you to decide where you're going, where you want to be, and how you're going to achieve those goals for yourself, and how you are literally going to make it all work for you on that ongoing basis. Because we often forget that everything takes work. Nothing happens simply because you want it to, but if you put the time in, if you have a plan and you know how to and what you want to do to make it work, guess what? You will achieve those goals for yourself. It's just a matter of you putting it all together and having a plan. The importance of having a coach or a mentor is literally to have someone to keep you on track and to help you know where to go for your answers. You know what? If you are starting a business, and look at this, I read an article recently of someone who was on Shark Tank, and he had this great plan, and he had he was literally a medical doctor who was interested in starting a business where he was going to teach students how to pass the SAT, because he had come up with a perfect score, and he thought he knew what he could do, and he also felt that he could do both. He even knew that that question was going to come up, and he practiced it. And yet when it came time for them to ask him the question, he still fumbled over it. And the big question was, could he do both? And even though he flubbed it, he did get one shot to invest in his business. And not only has that business grown to over $1 million business, but he's also gone on to become a medical doctor. So yes, he's done both and done them both very successfully. Because guess what? As the business owner, you don't have to be the one there running the business on a daily basis. What you do is you hire good staff to make sure that your business is running smoothly even when you're not there. You look at a doctor's office. They have to run smoothly. They have to be able to have someone that can be in touch with the patient on a regular basis, to have someone be in touch with the pharmacy, to be able to give referrals to other doctors when it's needed. And when an office is run smoothly, all of those things are taken care of while the doctor does what he does best, which is sit down with the patient and get to know them and answer all their questions and monitor their health, especially when you get past a certain age. You need to at least be in your doctor's office regularly to make sure that your health stays where it is, or that whatever comes up, that those tests need to be taken to prevent anything else happening down the line. So what makes your business run smoothly? Do you have to be involved with it on a daily basis? And maybe we need to talk about some of the things that you need to do to get from point A to point B, and also about those bridges and how you are going to make a success of all of those bridges in a way that will truly help you succeed and keep going and cross the finish line. because the best way to do that is to think of it as a race. Take it one stage at a time, 1 mile at a time, one step at a time. If you can do that and build up the stamina to do the longer races, then you will succeed. But it's a matter of you understanding what it is that you should do and how you can take it from where you are now to where you want to be in the future, and to make sure that you achieve the goals that you believe in. And look at the laws of attraction. What is going on in your head? What's your mindset? Because if you have a negative mindset, then whenever you hit those obstacles, you're just going to give up. But if you have a good, positive mindset about your abilities, about the future, about your achievements, then you will do that. And I'm going to finish this up with one small story that I think that we need to hear about, because it just shows you why women are afraid to come forward. And right now, we're in the midst of seeing a nominee for the Supreme Court and went to an exclusive Catholic school for boys where they drank heavily, they partied heavily, and they would sexually assault women, young girls, teenagers, underage teenagers. They were old enough to understand exactly what they were doing. But if the women did not speak up and the young girls did not tell what happened to them, they can go on and achieve to the highest position possible and never be held accountable. And if you look at what's gone on for centuries, I mean, we are in the 21st century. We're in the technology age. We're in a global environment, and yet we're still thinking like we were back in the Middle Ages when men abused women and got away with it. Is that truly what kind of environment you want to create? Is that the workplace that you want to have? In fact, I even read an article that said that Kavanaugh only took women who dressed a certain way as clerks, and yet he was promoted as this great humanitarian who wanted to promote and get women, and really and truly, it was a matter of his pervert kind of mentality that just wanted these people as cotton candy. Look, I mean, we actually have a president that has women on his arm that are there for their beauty alone and not for anything else. So what kind of message are we giving out when we allow these kinds of things to go on and the people not have to answer to their consequences for the things that they have done in the past? And remember, you can go to my website, and that website is the #1 personalcareercoach.com. And you can sign up for both individual and group coaching. And we will sit down with you and help you put together a mission statement or a purpose for your business and lay out a plan on how you expect to achieve your goals and hold you accountable to follow through on them.